right, my name is Melissa Nelson. I am founder of Performance Crop Research.
I'm Troy Ostmeyer. I'm a research scientist at Performance Crop Research.
And so we are an independent company that contracts with clients all over the world to help develop their product pipelines and bring those to market and develop those labels.
And how did you end up getting into this type of work?
I actually fell into it after college and as an assistant, a research assistant. I really embraced the industry, found my calling, loved agriculture, grew up in agriculture, and then went on and got my advanced degree and started PCR.
So I grew up in a small town in rural America and loved agriculture. I went to college for agriculture. I loved field work, small plot research. Hooked up with Melissa, and yeah.
A lot of work goes into research. What do you find rewarding about this?
I love that we're helping our clients accomplish their goals, or we're solving a problem. So my husband is also a commercial farmer, and I've now been in the industry long enough that products that I started with over a decade ago are now available for him on commercial use. So I'm seeing the profitability or the pressure alleviation, like in pain points or things like that we're seeing through farmers, through my neighbors, through my friends. That is work that I did.
Okay, see, for Performance Crop Research, you guys do a wide number of trials. Is there any kind of a specialty or things that you guys experience?
What's your expertise?
I personally work a lot on the fertility side of the program, fertility and variety trials and things. So that's kind of my expertise.
I love herbicide work. I've really taken a passion into the biostimulant market, and as that's continued to expand, it's really kind of the Wild West. You've got a lot of new companies that are coming into the space that have an idea and have a product, but don't know how to put it into the field and make it applicable to farmer practices. So if I can help bridge that gap, I really enjoy that.
And for your trials going on, I was kind of crop scouting the early sure data collection on the weekend.
So for planting, I mean, we're walking fields every week, if not every day. I mean, we can't cover every plot every day, but we're touching those fields or walking through those plots at least once a week. We've got projected timings. We know when we typically are going to see pest pressure. We know the environmental conditions that are set up to have a certain pest pressure. And so, again, that just raises our level of awareness, and we've noticed that when walking fields.
Is there much tissue testing going on in research versus, let's say, commercial corn growers out there?
Yeah, I would say definitely a lot more done in research. I would say it's definitely becoming a bigger thing in commercial production. People are starting to see value in it. A lot of our, especially our fertility trials, even outside of that, a lot of trials are getting tested tissue sampling.
I see higher tissue sampling because farmers are really focused on that ROI. Inputs are so expensive, so you have to justify that input and make sure it's worth the dollar amount. And so they're utilizing tools like Picketa, like lab services, so that way they can make sure that ROI is in place.
Absolutely. It's something we've seen coming from potatoes, where it's like a weekly basis of tissue testing, very intensive active management, becoming more of a thing in broadacre crops. So people are doing things like seed application, whereas before they could always fertilizer up front. And using products that those things biologicals. Do you see broadacre farming becoming more actively managed kind of things?
And it depends on where you're at in the world, like for your question there, because we fertigate. So we're fertilizing 4 times foliar throughout the season through our center irrigation pivots. Now, not all of the world has center irrigation pivots. Some have drip and things like that. So yes, you're seeing more of a spoon-fed approach to exactly what that plant needs instead of just a blanket beginning of the season application.
And so you guys got an opportunity to work with one of our lens systems this summer. I'd love to know what was the initial thoughts or reaction when hearing about the concept this year.
Yeah, I was excited to get my eyes on it. yeah, a lot of our testing, tissue sampling is destructive. We take leaves off, we put them in a bag, ship it. Who knows when it gets to the thing? But to be able to get that analysis done right there at real time was a thing, and I was very excited to get my help.
Another advantage that I noticed within the Picketa system is very user friendly. So as you guys know, in agriculture and really in a lot of industries, labor is a limiting factor. And so when we can get interns on this machine or research assistants on this machine and feel confident in the results and the usage that it's going to be done and done correctly, that's a win for us.
So you're able to kind of delegate this to summer students and have a full sampling program in the run at PCR.
Absolutely. You guys have a great starting SOP, how to utilize this, your training videos, etc., available for questions if we had any. But really, once we ran through that training with the intern, they could take it from there.
Yeah, and it's ergonomic. You can be doing it for a long time and not have any issues. It's very easy to use.
And I'd love to know, what did you hope for it to achieve, and did it achieve it for
That's really a question for our client so much. Our client asked us to try this and we utilized it. They took the data and they're analyzing it. So it served a purpose for what we needed it to do.
And you guys went kind of beyond that and added a couple of fields. I'd love to know, what was the motivation behind it, and how was the experience of adding a field in the platform, taking a scan, and kind of sharing the results?
One of the coolest part about our job is we get access to technology like this. And so when you guys said, hey, you can try more fields or more samples, I'm gonna do that. So I want to back up what I'm seeing in the field. I want to see if those are results. I want to run my own little mini tests, sample the leaves, and then send them off to the lab and compare it to the Picketa results. So that's why we did that.
With your experience this summer, did anything kind of arise and go wrong, and how did we kind of overcome it?
Setup questions. Or you've got to get those GPS coordinates in to set up the field correctly. Anytime we had a problem, it was just a phone call away. So.
And really, the only technical issues we had was, and it was probably on our side, was getting hooked up to the Wi-Fi or something.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be anything that you think we need improvement for the system next year?
After operating, I think the only thing that could be improved on is just the ease of the actual lens itself, of maybe like a push button on the handle. It's just sometimes it's kind of awkward to hold it onto the leaf and have to press the screen. If there was just a push button on the handle itself, it'd be very, very easy.
Mm-hmm. I know you have it set up for offline capabilities, but I think it'd be really easy to just set it up with a cellular service, and then you're always online, and you never have to worry about connecting to the Wi-Fi.
That's something we've seen or heard a couple times. We have a couple folks that also bundled it with a Starlink system, and they're way up in northern Manitoba, and for them that worked really well. So we're looking at ways to do that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's something we're looking at. How would you describe the lens to someone who's looking to get it, and for who does it make sense?
I'll let you into that.
For someone that's looking to get it, I would highly recommend it. It's very small, compact, easy to set up, easy to operate. It's nothing crazy,
I think this system is going to work well with those farmers that are really aggressive in their tissue sampling protocols right now, that are wanting to be on that cutting edge of spoon feeding the plant and getting it the fertilizer and the nutrients or the micros or the biostimulants that it needs. That is your target audience, or crop consultants that have teams of interns that are scouting fields and able to cover large acres.
Or I guess the industry as a whole, as we're able to get more and more nutrient profiles of different crops, different conditions, different regions, how do you think this will improve the way agronomy research is done and how farming is in general?
I think this is going to improve the way farming is done in general, is because you're going to reduce those inputs, or maybe not reduce, but you're going to have the right inputs at the right time. And ultimately, farming is a business and it's got to make sense. And so if the ROIs improve, then it's an easy sell for this product.
Is there anything that is not commonplace now that you think will be commonplace in agriculture?
Did you know drones existed 10 years ago? I mean, like, that is such an open-ended question. Biostimulants weren't even a conversation. Think of all the technology. See and spray with John Deere. 10 years from now, autonomous tractors, I mean, those are probably going to be just mainstream and not an oddity that you see going through the field. The turf industry is already utilizing it heavily. Gosh, I have no idea where we're going to be 10 years from now. Hopefully they still need us and they don't want to have robots and everything.
Let's hope so. I think for anyone doing high-level research, you guys are a great place to go and be around for a long, long time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and thanks for making a really cool system for us to use.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Perfect. Thanks for the conversation, and hope you had a good time at the NIICC conference.
Yes, you too.
You too.
Cheers.